What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to bring you some lore and so much more on the universe that we all love, Warhammer 40k. So recently, I've decided to start up my third army, and that army is, of course, the Aeldari. So I decided to dive into the unfathomable amounts of huge, epic, awesome lore that the Eldar have, and there is a ton. After going through all of it, the one thing that really stuck to me and really is going to make an impact as to how I play and build my army is the whole mythology and the pantheon of gods for the Aeldari. They have so much rich lore. The war in heaven is so amazing that I really want to bring you guys the lore and history behind all of that in like a 2 or 3 part installment series. But first, I wanted to start off with the Aeldari creation myth that pits about 2 of the most influential and pivotal members of the pantheon of gods, Isha and Khaine, and it is very, very crazy as to what the events that transpired during this time. So sit back, relax as we dive into the 40 facts and lore on the Aeldari creation myth. According to ancient Eldar mythology, their pantheon of gods consists of multiple beings. These deities have shaped the most pivotal of events for their children, such as the rise and fall of the Aeldari, as well as the creation of a new god, Ennead. However, let's rewind time as we uncover the origins of this psychically powerful race. It is said that the Aeldari race are descendants from Eldanish and Ulthanish, the 2 brothers. However, they were created by none other than Isha, the goddess which represents growth, life, and harvest, and her husband, Kurnos, the god of the hunt. With nothing separating the gods from mortals, the Aeldari learned, grew, and prospered, all thanks to their gods. For each god gave them a gift. Asurian gave the Eldar wisdom, so that they may know themselves. Isha granted the Eldar love, so that they may know one another. Val, the god of smiths, gave the Eldar the artifice, as a means to make their dreams reality. Lilith gave the Eldar joy, so that they would be able to know true happiness. Kurnos, their father, gave them desire, so that they would be able to prosper. Morai Heg gave the Eldar foresight, so that they would be able to know their place in the world. And Khaine gave the Eldar anger, so that they will have a means to defend their gifts. Unfortunately, this is Warhammer 40k, and in this age, nothing good ever lasts forever. And as such, the goddess of fortune, Lilith, had a dream. In this dream, she saw the mighty god of war, Khaine, being torn apart by Isha's children, the Aeldari. Lilith knew that her dreams always came to pass, and she chose to unveil this prophetic dream to none other than Khaine. The war god, fueled by rage and fear, began a bloody rampage against the Aeldari. In his mind, he had to eradicate them completely in order to secure his own life. The carnage wrought by the god of war was so brutal and devastating that Isha pleaded for Asurian, the Phoenix King and oldest of the gods, to spare her children. Seeing her shed tears, the Phoenix King created a great barrier, and from this moment on, the land of the gods and the mortals were forever divided. Isha, although happy that the eradication of her children had stopped, was still in distraught at all the events that had transpired, but more so at being unable to communicate with her children. And so Kurnos took her to the god of smiths, Val. going against Assyrian's wishes, Vol created a way for Isha to communicate to the children of hers via her tears. These crystalline tears would later become known as spirit stones. These stones were then used by Isha and Kornos to continue to guide her children. However, Khaine found out, and immediately told Assyrian. The Phoenix Lord had made it clear that the materium and immaterium should be separate, and therefore, in his disappointment of his own breaking his command, both Kornos and Isha were given over to Khaine. The Aeldari were once again left with no guidance, while their mother and father were being tortured at the hands of the god of war. And with that devastating end, we will leave it at that as we continue tomorrow with part 2, which leads to the infamous War in Heaven, not to be confused with the War in Heaven between the Old Ones and the Necrontyr. This one was more between the gods of the Aeldari. So let me know what you guys thought. Do you think Assyrian was too steep in his punishments? Do you think Khaine is to blame for all this? Which he kind of is. He's being a dick. But still though, imagine what would have happened if the gods never divided the mortal realm from the immaterial. That would be crazy. That would mean that like the warp, as well as, well, I guess the warp is kind of spilling into real space, but there wouldn't be that division. The Chaos Gods would be out and about. The 40k universe would be a very, very different place. And another thing too that's pretty interesting, I don't know if this is retconned or if it's contradicting lore, but Isha also created the rest of sentient beings. Apparently, when they got bored of the Eldar, she decided to create the rest of like humanity and all these things, which doesn't really make much sense because obviously everybody else has their own creation myth. And why would the Eldar create other beings and not just focus on the Eldar, especially with all these other things going on? And again, it also contradicts it because Isha felt remorse and sadness, and she really did care for her children, so why would she get bored with them and create the rest of sentient life in the galaxy? It doesn't make sense. So if you guys know more about the lore as to what's been retconned, what's legit, let me know down below in the comments, because like I said, I'm new to all this Eldar stuff. I'm digging into all the information I can, and there's a lot of contradicting facts and theories out there, so if you guys know, please let me know. And yeah, it's just very entertaining to see the Aeldari gods interact with one another, and just how much of a dick Khaine is. Like, this dude got his nickname Khaine Khaine from killing a mortal Aeldari hero so gruesomely that Khaine, what that means like bloodied hands, because his hands will forever drip the blood of the mortal that he killed so brutally. That's crazy. And it's just so epic how, even though he's a huge dick, like, Khaine is such a badass. And anytime GW has put him into the lore, he always underplays, he always gets shafted, he gets cucked. Putting it simply, this dude gets cucked all the time. He's supposed to be the god of war for the Aeldari, and he's coming up short time and time again. Avatar of Khaine just gets pooped on by everything he goes up against. He went up against the Tyranids. They freaking ran a stampede over him. He goes up against Lorgar. He gets beat. Like, come on. Like, every time he shows up, he gets beaten to a pulp. And yes, I know, he's just an avatar. He's not the actual full-force god. And at the same time, Khaine was also fractured into 100 pieces. So Lilith's dream did happen, although kind of indirectly, because it wasn't the Eldar specifically that shattered him into 1,000,000 pieces. It was the overindulgence and decadence of the Eldar that created Slaanesh, that fought Khaine, that then shattered him into 1,000,000 pieces. So I guess that would explain why the avatars are so weak, because it's a god that's been weakened and then further weakened by being shattered, being summoned into an avatar. But still, like, come on. Throw him a bone, GW. But yeah, that's going to end my little rant there. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you look forward to the next installment to the War in Heaven. And overall, if you guys play Eldar, let me know what type of Eldar you play. Is it Craft Worlds? Is it the Aeldari, the Dark Eldar? Because just diving into the lore, there's just so much epicness that I feel like I'm going into Warhammer 40k as a new player, and there's just so much awesomeness to indulge upon. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Hit us up on Patreon if you want to support us. A simple $1 a month goes a long way to bring you guys more epic 40k content. We have a Facebook page. We've got a TikTok. Yeah, there's a bunch of social medias where you guys can find us. And that's all I got for today. Stay safe out there, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. This is the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.